Good evening, all you spicy little meatballs. Welcome back to Erico Blueberry. My name is chillybin.
Back from the dead, you can't kill me. It's Meckii.
This is an Unassuming Destiny podcast. We are here to talk about the video game Destiny 2. Will we get a third? Everyone's talking about it at least sometime once a year. I don't care, frankly. We've got some stuff to catch up on because we missed last week. As we do sometimes, life stuff. It happens. I've got to move out of this house at some point in the next couple of months because our landlords are bags of shit. Fuck landlords. It's not a job. Boo.
House cops.
Yeah, a cab, and that includes landlords. All we did was stand up for ourselves and assert our rights, and they were like, hey, actually, fuck off out of this building. So we're having fun with that.
My excuse was less traumatic. I just got sick.
Yeah.
From being in the rain all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do it. Yeah, that's right. You were busy going to concerts and shit, and I was just, I don't know, I was here playing a bunch of Onslaught, TBH, and it's been good.
I went to 3 gigs in a row, 2 of those gigs in the rain.
Yeah, I did see some of those images coming through. I'm like, I don't know if this is mosh pit sweat or if it's actually been a downpour, because I know that some of those were outdoor events.
I think at one point on Snap, after one of the shows, I just sent you guys a picture of my hair fucked up and my makeup fucked up, and I was just like, I need an exorcist. I need Jesus.
Yeah, I need all of the above. So real quick, something to sort of clarify. I don't know what the right verb here is. On the last episode we talked about the raid date for Final Shape being so close to the release of the expansion. We were like, it might be this. It turns out we were pretty much right. The raid is... There was a tweet thread from Katerina Macedo, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Someone who works at Bungie, basically saying that, it's going to be actually hugely tied into the story, and the thing that is not seasons, they're calling them episodes, Echoes. The first one of those starts in week 2 after the Final Shape comes out. And so they want all of that to kind of happen in a certain sequence. And some stuff that we'll get to a little bit later in the episode, the power grind to get to the new power cap is significantly reduced to what it used to be. Expansion drops, usually they'll come out and you've got cool, you're at this level now, you've got 150 to reach the cap. This time around, it's only 40. So that initial grind to get to, quote, raid ready is probably a lot shorter as well. So it's maybe not as stressful as people initially thought just from seeing the date on its own. But when you take all of that information together, I think it is, for people that take day one raiding seriously, I think it sounds manageable to me.
It feels like something you'd get mostly done just by doing a legendary run.
Just do the campaign, yeah. Even then, with the way that the legendary campaigns have gone for the last 2 expansions, you get halfway through it and you've already gone up 40 power. So I don't think it's turned out to be that big of a deal, and that is evidenced by people kind of shutting the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
When it's just the date, people are like, oh fuck, what about the extra week? It's well, you're not going to need it because of stuff we haven't talked about yet.
The whinging did seem to slow down after that thread dropped. And I was like,
Yeah.
Turns out if you're patient.
And fair cop, there's aspects of that probably should have been included in that first message about the date to alleviate what they probably could have predicted players' concerns would be. So there's minor fault on both sides, I guess. Bungie know their player base very well. They, I would say, probably could have predicted that this would be the reaction to removing a week from what people are used to from raid prep. But hey,
maybe they just wanted to be a little bit more particular about the messaging or the wording.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
But what we do know now, a week plus later, we know more. We know that it's probably not that bad.
Yeah.
And we've got other stuff to do, so it's fine. The other thing that kind of dropped in the meantime was another trailer for the final shape. They have called it Journey into the Pale Heart of the Traveler, or just Journey into the Traveler trailer. It's very Cade forward. It's a lot of like Cade dialogue, but, and I say this being a noted Cade hater, it is some of the best dialogue and writing that a Destiny character has had in a long time. Like,
I refuse to believe it.
Have you watched it?
If Cade has no haters, I am dead.
Don't get me wrong. I hate like everything we know as Cade the character to date. Still very much against. It doesn't hold up. It doesn't age well, to my sensibilities at least. But this is like he's speaking with like Zavala levels of gravity and like not regret, but like maybe remorse or like reflecting on stuff that he's been a part of. And it's like, oh, dude, you are actually. It seems like you're feeling some shit for once.
We had to traumatize a man into not being the worst.
Literally, men will die and get resurrected instead of going to therapy. That's the story of Cade 6. Cade 7. I'm not sure. It's just Cade. Who knows?
Just Cade has the same energy as Just Ken. I'm just Cade.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, if true, in game, not just in the trailer, it's a testament to Bungie's writing and being like, hey, so like sometimes characters need to grow.
I mean, they gave Crow such a long redemption arc, and I know you don't like him, but I think they eventually like really stuck that landing of like, we're going to try and thread all of these things together so that like Aldrin plus Crow gets reconciled in a way that like they grapple with in a meaningful way, as opposed to just like, he's all fine now. It's like, no, he's grappling with some internal, immensely like intense shit and has fucked off to Venus. Like, that's how that resolved. And then we found Neomuna as a result.
Yeah. I mean, I just think Crow's a weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's just hella weird. It gives me vibes, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's still there.
I was going to say, as a woman in alt spaces, he gives me the energy of a man who's not allowed to go to AA shows anymore.
Yep.
Yep. But like, it's just fun to meme on the shitty emo boy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think.
But his writing, once again, is actually excellent. And I will give them that. It's just fun to meme on him.
Yeah, like
being the shitty emo kid.
When the first fucking trailer for the final shape, or like the first teaser we got, featured Cade, I was immediately just off. I was like, why? Why do you need to do this? He died. We all watched it. Everybody went through this. There was a fucking panel at PAX Australia where they had a funeral for this virtual character. Like, that was kind of cringe looking back on it. I didn't go to it, but I just knew that it was happening. And now they're just like, he's back.
All jokes.
Yeah. And like up until this trailer, the bits of dialogue that we caught in the other trailers were like kind of just still Cade, but like a little bit sadder. This is the actual first time where it's like, oh, they're taking this character in an actually different direction. And I'm actually I'm kind of now interested in what they do from here.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see him grow as a character as much as we hate on him. Because like that's Bungie's strength, right? It's just their story writing is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think I saw a fucking it was a tweet I think I saw today of like, I just saw Chris Pratt in Moneyball, and I'm so sad at how good he was in that and how shit he is in everything else. This is like the Nathan Fillion equivalent of like, I want him to have this like gravitational role of like, you know, putting some emotion behind it. Instead, we get the Joss Whedon language pilled idiot fucking cowboy guy most of the time. I want him to have that moment where it's like, oh shit, this guy can actually like do stuff that isn't just the same fucking schmuck character that we always get.
I think we've definitely called it this before, but it's the yee finger guns humor.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
humor,
yeah.
and it's like, come on now.
It's like someone
We
who
we left that in Iron Man 2.
no,
It's time to move
it's
on.
someone who thinks they're writing a Deadpool character, but instead they're just like they're missing the point of what makes Deadpool
Yeah,
funny.
and that's kind of it. That was, as we've said before, I think when we've dunked on Cade in at least once every 6 months. He's a product of his time because when you think when Cade came out, it was
Or
Deadpool.
like
It
OG Cade,
was
yeah.
yeah, it was that sense of humor was a thing. It was all that funny ha finger gun. That's the only way I can think of it is
Yeah.
the
It's
Ryan Reynolds like breaking the fourth wall, trying to be self-aware but not self-aware
yeah.
kind of.
And this whole like this whole idea that we're talking about is kind of why I'm still kind of holding out hope that they will give him some different name, whether it's dropping the 6 or calling him Cade 7 or something, just to like reinforce the idea that like this is a different person who has gone through some change. Whereas if it just comes back, it's like, it's Cade 6. It's like, yeah, but if we go to the tower, there's a memorial to Cade 6. Like,
That
what are we?
that's another thing I was literally thinking of. I was like,
Because the number gets increased by 1 every time an EXO resets. But
yeah,
like, what happens
and
when they
when
die?
and also like guardians in general don't come back with memories.
No.
So like, are we just genuinely getting a new Cade?
Yeah.
And it's less about Cade and it's more about Ikora because we see Ikora
Yeah.
in there with him, or it's like maybe it's a new Cade, but it's Ikora projecting the Cade we know onto him, where she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's good to see you again," and it's
Yeah.
like, "But is it him?"
Yeah.
Um,
Needless to say, this is the most I've been interested in Cade since I first played Destiny 1.
yeah, it's definitely been a moment where I've kind of sat back after thinking about everything and gone, "What are they doing here?
Mm.
What is happening?"
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm genuinely curious now. I'm like, What are these guys doing? What are
Yeah.
you about to do?
Yeah.
You about to make me care about Cade
I
because
know.
huge if you do.
Make me mad. Hey, we'll find out. It's now, as of 2 days ago, May. So we are about a month away from this thing finally getting here.
I still have to buy my copy.
Bruh. Sorry, it's
Doing that thing again.
yeah. I mean, we still got a
Where I
month.
buy
It'll
it
be
the
fine.
night before.
I mean, I
I gotta move.
you know what? I went and traded in my PS4 Pro today for cash. I'll buy it for you.
Hey, we're both in the boat where we gotta move, so
Yeah, I know. But I say that I still have my like original PS4, which has the like it's the Destiny Special Edition one that came out with the Taken King Legendary Edition. I wonder. Hang on, it's in arm's reach.
my
This fucking thing,
yeah,
it's so sick.
my one of that is broken because I left it with my family and my dad played it to shit until it died. But I
Yeah.
was like, don't throw it out. I
Yeah,
just want to keep it.
Well,
Like I will pull it apart and I will clean it. I'll try and like fix it myself.
yeah,
But like I also want to put it up there with my Death Stranding PS4.
yeah. That's like that like set of shelves you got behind you is also like enclosure enrichment inspiration for myself when I like do move is to like actually get more of a functional
My
sort of
single
backdrop here.
sad shelf.
Yeah, but like the way that I frame this shot for this show, like that's basically it. Is like that's very prominently featured. So like I want to get some Destiny shit in the background here. It would look good, but instead of just like I'm relying on this blur from this expensive camera lens to like make my mess palatable.
Yeah. This is my enrichment enclosure. My enrichment for my enclosure.
Yes.
My melodica.
Hell yeah.
What was it? My melodica is my enrichment activity.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like that PS4 up there. I'll get these fucking like Dragon Ball Z box sets up there. I'll get some stuff happening. We'll figure it out.
My enrichment activity is just me playing the Clint Eastwood melodica bit over and over again.
Yeah.
And Jurassic Park.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's the only things I know how to play melodica.
You know what? What else do you need? honestly.
The other day, actually, I started teaching myself Aqua Regia on melodica, and it sounds really
Interesting.
funny.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, this is like opening up some ideas in my brain because I've got one of the Teenage Engineering OP1 synths. Like it's about this big little thing made out of aluminium that costs way more than anything should. But like the idea of like taking music like that and trying to reproduce it on this like constrained little synthesizer is very, very intriguing.
Yeah, I love looking up, like, I have very minimal piano knowledge because a melodica is the only time I've touched anything piano-like in my life.
I mean, I played piano for years when I was a kid. I know enough to like get some sheet music and eventually make it sound right.
But, like, yeah, my goal is to just try and learn the most ridiculous songs on melodica.
Hell yeah.
Fucking Rain by Sleep Token on melodica. I have the tabs. I have the
I
tabs.
got the
So
music, yeah. All right, Destiny though.
yeah.
So we've talked a lot about Onslaught and Into the Light. So let's kind of catch up on where that's at as of this week. Last time we spoke, you talked about blueberries letting the battery die a whole bunch, and I had yet to have that happen. It is safe to say that blueberries don't know how to play Onslaught, dude. Like I had it happen one night, like 4 or 5 times. I was just doing the 10 wave version, and that's the easy one. Like you can roam around a bit more and
Um,
not fuck it up. But I was like, I'm
the
over here. You know the one where it's like the mines come in and there's the giant brig. It's okay. You do need to like go away and solve that and then come back. I was off doing one of those, and the other two were just like kind of doing one of them together. I'm like, I'm soloing one of these. One of you can stay at the battery. It'll be fine. And then it exploded by the time I got back. So what the fuck are you? What are you doing?
if if you've got your super up, melting those brigs is relatively
Well,
quick.
also like,
Like,
I mean, you still have yet to see this, but like that solar build that I've been running at the moment with Pyrogale, like the melee, not even the super, the melee alone will get it 2/3 down, and then I'll just land a rocket out of Dragon's Breath into it, and that'll just like kill it while I stand there and defuse the mine and run off. I was like, okay, like what are you two doing though?
yeah,
Come on.
I've had it happen to me a few times, and then last night I got up to the 50 wave. I got up
Mm,
to wave 15, and I don't know what the blueberries were doing, but there goes the battery, and I was like, you know what? No.
stay by the battery. Protect the battery, actually, is what I do now.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave the game.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna turn Destiny off
Yeah.
because Gumpy now.
One of my favorite things to do on PC is shift escape. It's just like, do you want to quit the game? Enter. Out of here. Fuck this noise.
Yeah.
I learned that
I was
keyboard
just
shortcut a long time ago, and I use it more than I would like to admit.
I was just like trying to get one of the bounties I picked up this week is do 20 waves.
Oh, in a single go, right? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done that one.
So for the batteries to keep getting wiped at like wave 15 to 18, I'm like, I am getting grumpy.
Yeah, yeah. I've fully switched to like if one of those things comes up during a round where it forces you to leave the battery, I'm staying at the battery and I am just holding the fort down. And then if I see that those objectives are not getting done, but they're still off doing shit, like most of them are fine. I think the mines one, like they do explode and you die, right? And like eventually when you're past 30, that's an extinguish and you're done.
Yeah.
So if they go if the other two just like we're not on voice chat, just blueberries, whatever. Like if they go off to tackle one of the things and then they come back, then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do this one by myself. You guys stay here. And most of the time that works. They kind of just like work out kind of what's happening there, or they just go off and do the other one. I'm like, okay, as long as they're getting done, that's fine. But like, have a little bit of like uh, community spirit. I think just like look around at what's happening and like just care for other people. What about the social
Yeah.
contract? Come on.
I had the weirdest one happen the other night, actually, talking about the social contract where the battery exploded. And then in the fire team chat, some dude was like, obviously he swore at me because like it asterisked out. But basically what he tried to say was, fucking Meckii, stop going AFK. I'm like,
Bruh.
I was at the battery keeping it safe.
Mhm.
Like I planted an old gods by the battery and then went and cleared one of the objectives.
Yeah.
Like I went and took out 3 ogres and then came back with the battery recharges. What do you mean AFK, homie?
That's
Like,
actually that's another weird.
and then also for him to chew me out, and my KDA was far more impressive than
Oh, I love
his.
that shit.
And so I just responded to him with lol cope.
Good. Good.
Like cope.
But also like I've noticed this weird trend of people not throwing the batteries in. I'm like, that's literally the point. Like,
Yeah.
what else are you here for? Except that you can use them to like repair the fucking, what do they call them, reinforcements or
Like the
whatever.
turrets. And,
Yeah, like you
and
can
the
do
trip
that, but they're just
mines and
letting them
stuff.
expire on the ground. They're not doing anything with them. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do cleanup then.
Yeah.
Luckily this week it's been like a lot better. I think people figure their shit out. But like I had a bad run one night and I got salty. So
There's very few times since trials that I've gotten like, yeah, genuinely salty in an activity where I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, I've had, I want to say it's like maybe 4 at this point get to the final boss and fail, like wave 50. And then like it's that same thing of like people trying to do too much, like running off to take out a bunch of ads and like, okay, but like these things hit hard at this level, and like 2 people together probably fine. 1, it's like you just got killed by a dreg because you ran
But
off.
also just help us melt the boss.
Yeah. Also, like you can't, once you get past like wave 30, you kind of have to slow down a bit in those boss fights because the, what do they call them, the reinforcements or whatever, like the objective in the boss arena that helps you damage the boss more starts to matter. Of like, oh, we're not hitting as hard as we were because the power level escalates. Like you do have to actually work for it.
Bro, when the 6 tormentors come out, what the fuck?
I kind of love that.
So scary.
It turns into like the Atheon fight where your super recharges wicked fast. So I'm just like, cool. I'm just, big hammer comes out. Big hammer comes out. We're doing this for 2 minutes. That's very fun. And then I just keep distance.
Yeah. The first time it happened, I heard it spawn in. I was like, oh, tormentor.
Yeah,
and then I turned around and I was like, oh no.
I'm running away. This is fucked. But yeah, it's, I still like it. I think I have almost exclusively played Midtown just because like that is the one that is just selected by default. I just hit launch and then I'm like, oh, I know this map super well now. And then every now and then I'll like, oh, I should force myself to play one of the other ones. And it's like, well, this is good, but it's not Midtown.
It's not Midtown.
Midtown stays winning. Call it W Town. Riz Town. But yeah, no, I still enjoy it. I still enjoy Onslaught. It's good. It hasn't, despite what they said in those developer live streams, it hasn't replaced the loot cave at the start of Grasp of Avarice for me in terms of grinding out weapon kills. So when I get those weapon quests from our site, it's like, yeah, cool. You get accelerated progress from doing it in Onslaught, but you are competing with 2 other people, and that is a bad time. You load me up the start of Grasp of Avarice and I get on an elevated thing where the enemies can't hit me and give me the nasty fucking engrams that kill you after 30 seconds. And I'm just fucking beaning them in that cave. And like, man, it's so fast to just chew through. Like, cool, pulse rifle's done. Hand cannon's done. Like, so easy. And also, you're killing so many enemies, ammo is just dropping everywhere. So when you need to do like sniper rifles and machine guns, ammo is no problem.
Now that you've said that, anytime I see you in Grasp, I'm just going to load in on you and be like, don't have to compete for kills, huh?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the
surprise, it's me.
Here's the update for this week. Like yesterday, the last 2 weapons in the Brave Arsenal dropped. They're already done. I've done those quests. I've got Superblack. It's all over.
I'm still working on it.
It's like I never had the attachment to the shader because I was not a hunter main. Like, it looks good, don't get me wrong. Like, when I want, like, there are definitely times when I've wanted a black shader that actually is black and not like the weird blue bits that come in from Jack Arena. Fucking looking at you. This is how many times I've tried to get a black look going that I know the ones that don't work right.
Hey, I want to tell you, as a warlock, where Jacarina or Jacaranda or whatever it is primarily blue.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Yeah. Don't have to.
We-
I've got Superblack. What's up?
warlocks because our armor is primarily material.
Yeah.
Get fucked so hard
Yeah,
on
yeah,
so
yeah.
many shaders where it's like, black is the primary color, and it's like, nah, get wrecked.
Yeah.
Neon purple is the primary color
Yeah.
because your cloak is entirely material.
And the thing that's always frustrated me about the Destiny 2 shader system is like, there's definitely logic within it. There is something about the 4 quadrants that map to different things, and they've never done a good job of explaining it. Like, it should be present in the game somewhere. I know that it's somewhere in like a TWAB or a fucking twit or whatever. Someone somewhere has explained it.
Sometimes it kind of shows you the textures. Like, you can look at it and be like, this is the material on this is going to be
but it
this
should be like,
color,
the top
you can
quadrant,
kind of
the
see
top
the
quadrant
textures.
applies to material, the left quadrant applies to blah. Like, there is a system at work in there, and I don't know what it is. But I
don't have to worry about it anymore,
super
baby.
black on black on black with the ski mask, etc. But yeah, got those weapon quests done by just standing on a rock in front of that fucking cave and just headshots after headshots with hand cannons.
First build I'm making is RTJ inspired.
Yes. Like, because a lot of times when I'm just like, I'm gonna grind out these weapon quests, like, cool, I'm gonna put on like a video, or like I'm gonna listen to that new Idler album, or just like put some shit on and just like vibe out for like an hour and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do these weapon quests, like pulse rifles. I think, yeah, this week was Blast Furnace and Luna's Howl. Yeah, because Midnight Coup was a week before. And I think I had like another one to do at the same time. So it's like, cool, I'm just gonna knock these all out. Done. Took me like an hour and a half.
War of Being by Tesseract because it makes you feel cool, but also it's a 13-minute song.
Hell yeah. If I'm doing that, it's whatever that 16-minute opening track is from Periphery's latest. Is it Reptile?
I think so, yeah.
One of those, like, first song on the album, 16 minutes. But yeah, like that to me is like, that feels efficient, as opposed to like going into Onslaught and trying to juggle everything that Onslaught requires, and also how can I mainline getting kills with this one weapon? Because it meant that like
True.
I was trying to do that for a bit with machine guns, because last week it was like machine guns got 25% bonus damage, and there was another one last week I was just trying to get done, but it was like, it felt clunky to like constantly be switching back to a weapon that doesn't actually aid the gameplay loop of my build at the moment. Like Xenophage was fun to pull out, but it just made everything else feel kind of shit. As opposed to like, I'm gonna load up this cave and just go bing bong, bing bong, bing, quest done.
Load into Grasp, aggressively sing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do.
While music I actually want to listen to is competing in the background. But then like one of those times I was in Grasp just doing that, I like completed the quest, and then I was like, well, this loadout that I've got at the moment is working really well. I'm gonna see how far through Grasp I can get solo. And the first like major encounter you get to with the big ogre and the shit, like I was like working my way through that and just like chipping away at it, but like sort of thing where I'd need to sit there and actually dedicate some time to it. But like, you know, got up to it pretty comfortably and was like working my way through the rooms, picking up all the engrams. I just need to adjust how I approach that encounter compared to when you have 3 people. But yeah, I was just like kind of dicking around. I was like, oh, this feels somewhat doable, but mostly a lot.
Speaking of dungeons, still got to shit out a couple of Warlords ruins. I need my pistol,
also,
please.
As of this week, new joint just dropped. Really want to give Pantheon a try. It sounds so sick, and the weapon drops look silly.
I definitely want to give that a crack as well. It's all encounters we're very familiar with, which is the fun part.
Yeah, and this is something I've, like a sentiment I've seen on just online a bit, is like, it's people dropping into encounters they've done before, but not necessarily having done every role in those encounters. And they're like, it's that classic like toxic gatekeeper shit of like, you say know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. It's like, okay, yeah, but like it's not hard to teach. But there's definitely like of the encounters in it this week, parts of it I've never done because the one or two times we did that raid, I knew one part of it, so I just did that because we were just trying to get through it. So yeah, maybe it's the first time I'll dip into the old fire team finder and put on the. I think there's a tag that you can select, which is no toxicity, which sounds right up my alley.
I love the chill, no
Yeah,
toxicity.
that's what I'm after.
I
Like,
love
I've
sticking
seen
those tags on.
I've seen reports that doing a Pantheon run takes under an hour, and that sounds fucking perfect.
You dare disobey my tags?
I'm gonna get toxic because you're being toxic. But yeah, I think this weekend I've got the house to myself, a couple of pets to look after, but I think that might be a good time to fire up the finder and give the old Pantheon a crack.
Yeah.
Also, the like the icon that you select for Pantheon in the game. I saw someone like compare that with a photo of the actual like an actual Pantheon in Greece, and it is the roof is like a dome, circular dome with a hole cut out in the middle so the sun can come through. And if you look at how it's portrayed in the game, it is almost identical. It is such sick design.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that
Great.
dropped this week. People seem to be getting around it. There's like it says the rewards is like exotic weapon skeleton or some shit. But I've seen images online of like people saying the masterwork is a thing that you can select as opposed to it just dropping with a particular one. And one of them that I've seen going around is shield duration on a gun. I don't know what is happening.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So like I mostly just want to get some drops to be like, what is happening here? Can I get one of these weird guns?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems fun. And also like so there's obviously the title that you can get, I think it's like God Slayer or whatever it's called, for like doing every week of it, because it escalates every week. But there's a physical reward that is in the store that requires you to only have done one. And this week theoretically would be the easiest one to do. They've dropped another raid ring, homie.
Hello, old friend.
So this one is like the first raid ring they did for the
Sunset
what we
Slam.
called the Sunset Slam, like in the lead up to the sunset that happened with Beyond Light. There was I don't like they basically said like here's a ring that you can earn by doing all of these raids before they go away. So it was Leviathan. Was it 2 or 3 raid layers within Leviathan? It was Spire of Stars, Eater of Worlds. I think that was it. Is there a third one?
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, it was those 3. It's going to test my knowledge here. What's the one on Earth with the Fallen and the fucking tanks? God, Anarchy was the reward for that one. It's going to kill me. I know this.
Yeah.
So we're at 3 out of 6 right now. What locations went away? Io, Mars.
Jeez. All I can think of now is Leviathan because I loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, they brought out a ring that was like the classic image we know of raids, which is the skull, with the kind of like chain link around it. It had like a big sword going through it. And the only like physical problem with that ring is how far outside the ring itself that the sword stuck. So like the ends of it would get caught on clothing and stuff and bend, and in some cases break. And in this ring, they've fixed that. It's a nice like hexagonal kind of signet design, and the sword only extends as far as the edge of the ring, so it's not going to get caught on shit and have that same problem.
Yeah, if I had the money, I would definitely gun for this one because then this becomes a wearable version of the Sunset Slam ring.
Yeah.
Because I love this. I don't wear them when we film, but I have like a daily ring stack and my Vault of Glass ring. And if I'm not doing anything where I feel like I'm going to get it caught on anything, my Sunset Slam ring is in that ring stack. Because they're statement pieces.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got a couple of big old chunky rings like that. I got that that Crota's End one as well with like the green in it.
Sick.
Oh, so good.
I wear my Vault ring usually on my thumb. And then the rest of my chunky rings, and 99% of the time, the Sunset Slam or the Vault ring are the ones I get asked about.
Yeah.
It's like a wearable version of that ring.
Yeah. I would love to have essentially a second version of the same ring and just wear both of them.
Yeah.
Get them
a 90s R&B fucking
get them all
album
just
cover.
lined up on one hand, just like check it out. I'm a big gamer. I paid for all these shipping costs.
It's driving me nuts now. I'm trying to find the actual requirements for the OG.
Hang on. Surely I can find this somewhere. Hello? This is an actual fucking challenge.
Everything prior to garden.
Yeah, but what is that? I am scrolling so hard. I cannot find it. I was sure I had this listed somewhere. Hello? I'm like,
no, because now when I try and look it up, it just keeps bringing up the Pantheon ring.
Yeah, I know. The thing I'm looking back at is like the planning that we did in the Discord server, like leading up to Beyond Light, trying to see if like there's anything in that, and there kind of just isn't. Anyway, you know what we're talking about. What was that fucking raid called? You got Anarchy out of it. Oh, this is gonna kill me. I'm literally looking it up right now. I'm just gonna type what raid gives Anarchy.
Bro, the Wikipedia doesn't even tell you what.
How to
just
get
pictures
Anarchy.
Of the ring.
Scourge of the Past. That's the one. So that's 4.
My brain kept going Scourge of Stars, but it's Spire of Stars.
Spire of Stars, Scourge of the Past. Hang on. Destiny 2 raids. I'm just gonna go find a list because this is gonna fucking kill me otherwise. I should know this. We did so many runs because we had nothing else to do.
We were in the middle of lockdown.
I know. Okay, that's all current raids. No, I want to see the old ones, please. God, fuck this website. Where are they? No, like, of course, yeah, you're going to list all the ones that are actually out and available to play. I want the old ones. Okay, Leviathan, 2017, it comes out. Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, like 3 months later. Leviathan, Spire of Stars, May 2018. Last Wish,
Crown of Sorrow.
Yeah, that's the other raid layer. That's what it is. Last Wish, still a thing. Scourge of the Past, Crown of Sorrow, Garden of Salvation. Okay.
Yep. So it was Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, Spire of Stars, Scourge of the Past, and Crown of Sorrow.
So just 5.
Because it was all part of the Moments of Triumph 2020 as well.
Yeah.
I had to go down a rabbit hole to get there. Destiny Collectors Wikipedia, thank you, but also, why could you just not put that in the fucking ring details?
I mean, I found Destructoid.com all Destiny 2 raids in release order listed, and that was what gave me the dates mostly.
It's so funny. So I had to go to the raid ring.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to Moments of Triumph. And then I had to go to Destiny 2 Year 2. And then I had to go to the Moments of Triumph section. And then it was like, yeah, so this is how you get the ring.
That's painful.
Why is that just not on the ring description?
That's so painful. Anyway.
Destiny Collectors Wiki.
So that ring is the more poorly designed version, the one that you can earn right now doing Pantheon.
I would like that one so I have a safe to wear version.
Yeah, a one that will not be destroyed by pockets,
Oh,
mostly.
there's definitely been a few times I've worn that and gone
Yeah.
because I've like gotten it caught or
Well,
like
I
I've
just
hit it on something.
like I forget which finger I got it sized for, but I'm always just like conscious if I need to put my hand in my pocket while that ring is on, I'm like, I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna use the other hand to open the pocket. I'm gonna just be very careful, get it in there.
I get it caught in my hair.
That is not a problem
When I
for
wear
me.
it, I'm like, ah.
Uh, mm,
The joys of a mullet.
yes. But yeah, you've got until June 3rd to complete all encounters from any tier of the Pantheon to unlock it for purchase. If it's anything like previous rounds, I think they're usually like 120 US dollars plus shipping.
It says 129.99 on the thing I just found.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
what's
That's,
that? 240 for Australians plus shipping.
I mean, no, it's probably like 200 for the ring itself. But yeah, shipping is the fucking great variable there. I've stopped buying things from their store because of shipping a long time ago.
Which sucks because there's so much stuff I want, but I just cannot justify the shipping.
No. On to mildly spicy updates in, I believe, last week's TWID, and we're recording this on a Thursday, so if some spicy shit drops in this week's one, we currently don't know about it, so you're watching this on a Sunday or thereabouts. You want to place? Okay, let's place a bet. I'm going to say no spicy stuff in this week's TWID, and we'll see if we're correct next time.
Yeah. Watch it just be a massive like, oh, we have something for you,
Yeah,
drop now that we've said
we're
that.
actually super fucked up. The game's coming out in October. No,
I'm gonna manifest something fun
the fun
for
would be
next
good.
week's
Fun would be
episode.
good. Yeah. No, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there about like changes that they're making to power levels. Trying to think where to start. So like the last few expansions that have come out, it's like, week one drops, the power cap is then pushed out by like 150. I think when Beyond Light dropped, it was more than that, but it's been sort of 150 is the amount you have to climb once a new expansion drops for a bit. That's been brought down to 40, which I kind of mentioned before, talking about the raid and the short amount of time, which is nice. Like that giant 150 climb, I've never enjoyed, and it always feels just like so long. Legendary campaign gets you a long way towards completing it. Like I think it gets you.
Then after that, it slows right
Well, because
down.
then you're into like the pinnacle grind of just trying to get that last piece in the last slot, and it's just RNG, and it's not fun. But there's also a whole bunch of stuff in there that I will not try and recall right now because it's kind of boring and complicated. But there's things like fire team power, and within that, like someone in your fire team is determined as the power leader, which I think is the person with the highest power, which then like adjusts, basically takes an average, I think is how it works, of your fire team and uses that to determine how the activity will feel. There's things about like activities can be powered disabled or enabled, which we've seen before with stuff like Iron Banner and different Crucible modes where it either does or doesn't take your power level into account. So I guess that would mean that like more activities will function in a way where it's like it's always going to feel a certain way versus you can, power your way out of it. Like if you were to go run a regular strike right now, it'd feel very different to if you were coming in under power because it's not capped, right? You can just go in and blow the whole thing up. Whereas if you go to Onslaught, the power level is very much managed the whole way through, even when you're doing the like full 50 wave variant. And then there's some interesting stuff about like account wide power, which is actually finally taking into account the power level across all three of your character slots, as opposed to just like what has your Titan got, or whatever the case may be for your main versus the other two. Like my Titan right now is capped out. But then as I'm dropping stuff from Onslaught, I'm unlocking the chests for Hunter and Warlock on my Titan. So they drop at cap, and then I'm transferring them over, which is fucking bringing them up real fast. And that kind of feels like the direction that it's heading with like when they talk about account wide power and like determining
Yeah.
drops and all that sort of stuff. So there's a ton of details and numbers and tables you can look at, but there's some changes coming. Largely the same systems apply of like soft cap, power cap, pinnacle cap. Just some of the numbers are getting tweaked a bit. I don't know.
Yeah. One of those things. We'll see when it's in motion how it feels.
But the actual spicy shit. Removing the power cap on legacy gear.
Yeah.
So
What?
a lot of people deleted a lot of shit because we were told this stuff is getting rotated out of the game. You might remember it referred to as sunsetting if you were around at that time. Like, this is one of those things where, like, the game development or software development experience of this makes a lot of sense to me because that's what I do for work. But the player experience, I also understand why people get mad about this. So essentially, like, everybody was told one story. At the time, it was correct for where they were of like, we need to rotate the stuff out of the game, remove it because it's affecting their ability to like develop the game and build these systems and improve these systems because it's getting harder and harder to manage it, right? That made sense at the time. It, you know, in hindsight, it's always going to be different. But at the time, it made sense. And we're all just like, cool, it sucks, but like, we eventually got on with it. And now that's all changed. They're basically saying, like, actually, no, we're going to just remove that. And, like, if you happened to keep anything, you can use it again, which is interesting.
I've definitely been seeing memes of like Destiny 2 players after like realizing they've broken down all of their old gear, and it's just like Ryan Gosling in like Blade Runner just silently crying and like
Yeah.
people punching walls.
I
And
think
I was like,
honestly,
Steve,
the
no.
like the best reaction I've seen is from Datto because he's done all these videos like cleaning out people's vaults, getting them to delete shit, and like he went out and did like as a comedy bit the like YouTuber apology of like, I'm so sorry for making you all go through this, and like was sitting down with his partner on a couch and like doing the whole, it's very self-aware.
The
Yeah.
sigh.
But yeah, like it's one of those things that this is one of the situations where like me as a, you know, full-time software engineer, like I fully get both sides of this. Like I understand why at the time that decision was made based on the arguments they put forward of like it is slowing down their ability to work on the game. And like great, makes sense. Now looking at it, it's like, okay, I can see why after years of having worked on those systems and refined them, you feel comfortable removing that restriction. The problem is what you told people at the first checkpoint that, like, at the time, you had no way of knowing that you would eventually do this. So yeah, like, it's good. It's good for a laugh, and like, frankly, the Brave Arsenal stuff and like them bringing all these weapons back in and kind of talking about maybe doing more of that is maybe what's helping soften the blow here. But very funny to think about all those people that were like, you think about like how bad original Recluse and Mountaintop used to be, like just deleting those and going like, fuck, pull one out, I guess. And now going like, I could have still had it. And also the fact that Bungie came out and said like, we have no way of like restoring that. And you know, that I think is a good move on their part, because otherwise they would just be inundated with people requesting it and demanding it of like, you should have known this, you blah blah blah, like whatever demands they want to make, which is kind of fucked. But them coming out and saying like, we have no way of like finding that information and pulling up your old rolls of guns that we deleted or whatever the fuck, like, yeah, it's at least like it does suck a little bit now looking back at all of that, but I fully understand like why those decisions were made as they were at the time.
Yado just becoming public enemy number one for a bunch of streamers.
So funny Because yeah, I've watched a few of those, and he's like, "Why do you still have that? Like, it's capped out. It's never like it's basically irrelevant."
I love
I
it.
love it. I got stories, and like I've got some weird junk in my vault that like I have room for, and like is a reminder of like stories and moments and things we did. Um, but I deleted all those fucking sunset guns, dude. I'd have to look, tbh. There might be some
I'm
stuff in there.
thinking I, you just became my personal data.
Why?
Because remember when you made me go through my vault and clean it out?
I did do that.
And it was full of like all this old shit. And you'd be like, why do you still have this? I'm like, because I like it.
Yeah. Fuck.
Bro, my original recluse.
Yeah, look, I'll take the blame for that because frankly, you can just go and get one right now.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, I know.
It's like when a kid's budgie dies and you get a budgie of the exact same colorway, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My personal data.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things that like I'm surprised it hasn't been like a louder thing. I think like I said, maybe people being able to go and get a recluse right now is helping. And some of those guns
Also,
being
it's
good.
just it's also just it's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, like putting all of that aside, of like I can see from their perspective and I fully understand it and empathize with it. It's like it's also very funny to imagine people getting mad about this because like it means nothing. It means so little. Like you go get a recluse right now that also has an origin trait that does some cool stuff, whereas the old version that wasn't a thing. You can go and get one
Yeah,
right now that has like multiple different perk combinations. Great.
can go mountaintop myself out of the fucking map.
Yeah.
But also the sentence mountaintop myself in response to being told you can there won't be a power cap on legacy
Yeah.
gear. Also very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's I think that's like one of the things lately where like I've seen the reaction to it before I went and read the actual article that they put out, and I was like, oh, what's happening? Because it was just one of those things that like I put to the back of my mind of like they'll never do that. Why would they? People deleted all this shit, and also the story they told would be hard to go back on.
Surprise. All of you guys who live in your nasty hoarder house equivalents in Destiny 2. Time to dig to the bottom of the cat shit pile and find your old gun.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Ah, well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if like people bringing out old recluses and mountaintops makes PvP bad, but I would have to play PvP once in the next like month to be able to tell you. I don't know.
It could also be very funny too.
Yeah.
Some of the shenanigans with some of those older guns in like newer.
Well, I'm pretty sure this stuff is coming with Final Shape. It's not like changing now. So it'll be yeah like another month before we find out anyway. Oh well.
Time for shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, I won't be partaking because all I've got is new shit. I don't have that old trash.
I mean, trash.
Trash. All right. Next week, we've got 0 Hour dropping.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. We've got 3 new PvP maps.
Yep.
Right? Cirrus Plaza, Dissonance, Eventide. They dropped some maps this week on the official Destiny accounts. Those maps should be pointed out, created by community artist Relict, R3LIKT, because nothing can be spelled easily anymore. But cool that they're getting a shout out, they're getting lifted up in this way, because they're good maps. I don't play a lot of PvP, so they don't mean a lot to me. But hey, I like maps.
I like maps.
I like people getting stuff. I don't think it'll stop people complaining about a lack of new PvP maps, but I also think those people don't know how hard they are to build. So that'll just be a thing that is always there, I think.
Yeah. I like them.
Yeah, one of them looks like Neapolitan ice cream.
Fucking serious.
Yeah, just the colors that they've used. It reminds me of like some fucking ice cream pastel colors.
Some like weird artisan ice cream where it's like lavender, strawberry, caramel, and then pistachio.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really fun seeing like a Neomuna map.
Yeah.
I like that there's an aquarium.
Yeah. The Eventide is what? Fucking Europa.
Yeah.
Braytech stuff. Eventide Labs.
Yeah, which will be fun. It'll be really nice to see that aesthetic actually properly in a PvP
it's
map.
a mix of like just from the map, it looks like a mix of right angles and then like caves and kind of rounded corners in geometry, which is interesting.
And then Dissonance. I can't remember which one that is.
I feel
That's
like Root of Nightmares kind of vibe.
Yes. Also excited about because Root of Nightmares aesthetic is very good.
I do like it. I do. But yeah, that'll be next week. And then I think, where does that get us? That's like middle of May. We've got, what, 2-3 weeks after that till final shape. I think basically from here on out, it's just like the progression of Pantheon and the different kind of the different like iterations of that dropping. I don't know that there's much else.
No, nothing from memory.
Yeah.
More Onslaught. Pantheon launching. 0 hour. I still have to do Wish. Worm.
Whisper of the Worm. Yes.
Whisper. Yep. It was a W word. There was a worm in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't gone back to that since I did that one run and just soloed it from memory.
Oh, I haven't played it in so long that I'll probably go back in, but I might go back in with a guide because it's been ages and I did it twice.
Yeah.
Once to get my gun and another to help someone else get that gun.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of like that grasp, like semi run that I talked about earlier, where I was just like, I'm just going to load it and I'm going to see what happens. And then I just kept going. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember what this room is for, what I'm supposed to do. And then eventually I just like kept doing that until I got to the boss. There was one bit where there's like the room you go into and there's like the big orb at the other end. That bit took me a while to remember like where I was supposed to go, which exact like corner I was supposed to find and get into. But I still had plenty of time to get that boss done in the end. And then I got my Whisper, and now I've got some Catalyst quests to do. And one of them it involves doing Whisper on Legend, which scares the shit out of me.
Yep. I'm terrified of Trevor.
That's going to be interesting, yeah.
Even with the new move mechanics, I'm like, bro.
Well, we're talking about having to update that boy because of that.
Mate is going to gobble me the fuck up. I know it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get some fucking robot vor happening.
Yep.
Need to go find an emote that lets me present my whole ass to Trevor so that he can gobble
Just
it up.
Me. Just take me. Just smite me, and mighty smiter. It's just Trevor.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. I haven't done that in a while. Obviously, because I got Sunset. Because they're also like bringing back in the ships that you could get out of those, I believe. And they said the update, because the one that you could get out of 0 hour was basically a junkyard piece of shit that was incredibly hard to get. Just like the amount of the puzzles were really complicated.
I was also so bummed that I never got it because it's my aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you know how much I love my shitty garbage Destiny 2 builds.
Yes. But yeah, I think they were talking about having done some updates to it to like, I don't know, make it look better or worse. I'm not sure what is correct there. but it's had some work done. Put it that way.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Run 0 hour with some homies. I think it'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Crack a couple of bevs, run
Ooh.
0 hour.
Ooh. Just like old times.
Yeah. We back in the stand down days, boy.
More. I don't know, with Final Shape coming out, I kind of wouldn't mind that. Like, just having a chunk of time to just go and play a bunch of Destiny.
I can't take any more time off.
Uh-oh. All right, well, we should take some time off this show. We're done. We've covered all of it.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. I think that's fair to say. Next week? Question mark. Probably. We'll see. Unless other stuff happens. You know, life comes first. Fuck
Life
you.
do be lifing.
Fuck you. You're not my dad. I'll make a show if I want to. But hey, press some buttons to tell us you liked this episode. Leave some comments. Leave some words under the video. Or if you're listening to this in the audio only variety, go tell a friend, because podcast apps don't have comments. Some of them let you like episodes, but I don't think that does anything. You can, I don't know, go to the website for the podcast and leave comments there, I think. Or there's ways to contact us. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at how that stuff works. I know how the YouTube stuff works because I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Maybe just leave a comment there. Say, hey, I came here from the audio podcast. That's it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Just let us know. Let us know who sent you.